When ridicule is louder than reason, sometimes survival speaks quietly, in the language of hay and hope. In the harshest corners of rural North America, where the wind howls and the snow falls in relentless sheets, the difference between life and death can come down to a single desperate idea. This is the story of one such idea, a story not just of survival, but of the courage to stand alone against the cold and against the crowd. Welcome back to Abandoned History. Here, we don't just explore forgotten places. We uncover the ingenuity, the grit, and the quiet acts of rebellion that shaped them. Today, we journey into the heart of winter, to a time and place where necessity forced one man to challenge convention, and in doing so, left a legacy that outlasted even the walls he built. Picture a lonely Quonset hut, its curved metal walls biting cold, standing defiant against the frozen winds of rural North America. These huts, with their unmistakable half-moon silhouettes, dotted the landscape after World War II, symbols of a new era built for speed and efficiency, but never for comfort. Imagine the isolation, a single structure surrounded by endless white, the only sound the groan of metal contracting in the cold and the distant mournful call of a winter bird. Born from wartime necessity, these structures were quick to build and hard to heat, an iron shell, more prison than protection when winter descended. The Quonset hut was a marvel of engineering for its time, but its thin metal walls offered little defense against the elements. In summer they baked, in winter they froze. For those who called them home, every season was a test of endurance. One man, nameless now but not forgotten, faced a choice: freeze or defy every neighbor's laughter. He was not a man of means. The world around him was unforgiving, and the resources at his disposal were few. But what he lacked in wealth, he made up for in stubbornness, and a willingness to try what others dismissed as foolish. His neighbors watched from a distance, shaking their heads, certain that his plan would end in disaster. With fuel scarce and money scarcer, he stacked hay bales, layer upon layer, against his hut's silver skin. Each bale was a barrier, a shield against the cold. It was back-breaking work, hauling and stacking, but with every bale he built not just a wall, but a statement. I will not be beaten by this winter, nor by the doubts of others. The hay, golden and rough, became his unlikely ally. To others it was madness, a fire hazard, a nest for vermin, a folly sure to fail. The warnings were loud and frequent. "You'll burn the place down," they said. "You'll be overrun with mice." But desperation breeds innovation, and he pressed on, trusting in the simple logic that what kept animals warm in the barn might just keep a man warm in his home. But as the snow piled high and nights grew long, the air inside grew warm. The hay, packed tight against the metal, trapped the heat from his small stove. The wind howled outside, but inside, the air was still and almost cozy. The walls, once icy to the touch, now radiated a gentle warmth. It was not luxury, but it was enough. Enough to sleep through the night without shivering, enough to wake up and see his breath, but not feel it freeze in his lungs. The hay, mocked as a farmer's joke, became a fortress, insulated not by invention, but by insight. It was a solution born of observation and necessity, not of textbooks or blueprints. The hay bales, so often overlooked, proved to be the perfect insulator, thick, cheap, and abundant. They kept the cold out and the warmth in, and in doing so, they turned a metal shell into a home. Neighbors watched, then learned. The laughter faded. As the winter dragged on, and the temperature dropped, they saw the smoke rising from his chimney, steady and sure. They saw him emerge each morning, not beaten down by the cold, but upright and alive. Some came closer, curious now, asking questions instead of making jokes. A few even tried the hay trick themselves and found, to their surprise, that it worked. Today, the hut is gone, its story nearly lost. The field where it stood is empty, the only trace a faint outline in the grass, a memory in the minds of those who remember. The hay has long since rotted away, the metal rusted and hauled off for scrap, but the lesson remains, echoing through the years. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most profound, yet in its absence it reminds us. Ingenuity blooms in cold places, and sometimes the best ideas are those everyone else calls foolish. The hay-wrapped Quonset is more than a story of survival. It's a testament to the power of thinking differently, of trusting your instincts when the world says you're wrong. It's a reminder that progress is often made not by experts, but by ordinary people willing to try something new. If you find wisdom in the forgotten, subscribe to Abandoned History, and let's uncover what time left behind. Every story, no matter how small, has the power to inspire. Let's keep searching for those sparks of ingenuity, hidden in the ruins and remembered in the cold.